Hey guys, Probo1701 here, and today we are going to talk about The Mind of Evil, the second story from Season 8 of Doctor Who. Now, of course, I recently got my Doctor Who Season 8 box set in here, and I'm very happy to have it. I've already watched Terror of the Autons and done a review on that. So I'm going to do a review on Mind of Evil. This was my first time ever seeing this story. As I've mentioned in other videos, this was the story I was most excited to see this season, as I'd only seen 2 of the 5 stories before. And I've always wanted to see The Mind of Evil. It just seemed like a terrific idea. A machine that can basically scare you to death. And plus it's got Roger Delgado in it. I love me some Roger Delgado. That man is amazing. So let's talk about the story. It's a 6-parter. Fills out its 6 parts really well. After the first part or 2, I wondered if it'd be able to keep going, because so much happens in these first 2 parts, or even just in the first part. Like, man, how's it going to keep this momentum going? And it really does. It fills out its 6 parts really well. It has a really good guest cast. The Chinese guest actors do a great job. The male and the female are both really, really good in this. John is fantastic in this. I love John in this. John Pertwee is amazing in this. I mean, he always is. John's such a good doctor. I just love watching him in this. He's so serious. There's no other doctor quite like John, except maybe Series 10 Capaldi. Series 10 Capaldi kind of reminds me of John. John plays the role very serious without being grumpy and irritating the way like early Hartnell especially, or Colin, TV Colin could be. John is serious without it being bothersome. He plays the role very straight, in the serious sense of the term. And I really, really like him in this. I love Nicholas Courtney in this. I really love how the third Doctor and Nicholas Courtney get along in this, because there is some kind of banter there where you can tell they still kind of annoy each other. It's like the Doctor's like, I gotta put up with the Brigadier. And the Brigadier's kind of like, I have to put up with the Doctor, but I need his help. And there's a lot of that. Even the very last line is that the Master has escaped and I'm stuck here with you, Brigadier. The Brigadier's just like, yep. I mean, he doesn't say yep, but he has that look on his face like he's going, yep. I love that. Roger Delgado steals the show. He is so good as the Master. I still think Roger Delgado is the best Master. I mean, I do. I love the way he plays the character. I love that calm, reserve, in control. He's always in control. One of the problems I have with the modern series is the way it kind of depicts the Master as unhinged. That usually doesn't work for me, with the exception of Missy. I love Missy, because even when she's playing unhinged, she always seems in control. But Delgado, he never seems unhinged. He always seems very calm, very charismatic. A lot of charisma to him, and very in control of the situation. And always like a kind of like Bobby Fischer, thinking several moves ahead of what he needs to do and contingencies to happen if something goes wrong. He's great in this. I really like the idea of the Keller machine, and some of the effects used on it look pretty good, especially when the Doctor sees the fire. The couple times when the fire's up on the screen, that's a really neat effect. It looks really, really good. And it's a nice callback to Inferno, because I love Inferno. It's my favorite Pertwee story, one of my favorite stories. So it's a nice callback to that, and kind of see that his experiences from Inferno did leave some lasting effects on him, that he's afraid kind of that, the memory of that, and the fact that he talks to Joe about it, seeing a whole planet destroyed by fire. That's pretty neat. I really enjoyed that. I really like the scene when you hear like the Daleks saying the exterminate, and you see kind of flashes of like the Cybermen and Daleks on the screen. That's a really neat effect. It almost looks like that would be like if they'd done a special edition and added some new effects. It actually looks pretty clean. I was really impressed with how good that looked. It's hard to believe that's the original version of that. The restoration work is a little rough to me. I mean, it looks good, and I'm really grateful to have it in color, but especially where they have to use the chromia dot recovery on episodes 2 through 6 looks a little rough. especially when you look at the flesh tones. Again, like I mentioned in Terror of the Autons, but worse here, the skin colors look kind of weird sometimes. Like sometimes they didn't. It almost looks like they're not fully colored. They still look black and white in spots. It's kind of like Rorschach's mask moving around. It's almost like it's colored, but the black and white is just right under a thin film of cover, ready to burst out. You know, it's worse in some shots than others. Like I remember, I think it's episode 5 when Mike Yates is tied to a chair and the Master's like right here talking. When Mike's just kind of sitting here like this, his face looks almost black and white. Right there at the end when the Doctor's talking and it's a close-up of him right before the end of the story, his face looks like it's threatening to turn black and white. Sometimes their faces look on the verge of turning black and white, and the skin tone looks really weird. Also, sometimes when the backgrounds, or on John's shirt where it's white, or that room they go into where it has the white tile, you can actually see like dots of rainbow dots of color on them, almost like you imagine Saruman the White has when he's actually Saruman the many colors. You know, it looks white, but when you look closer, you can actually see it's made up of many colors on Saruman the way it is in the book. I expect it would look like this. You can see all the little color dots in there. And again, I'm not really trying to complain because I'm going to be honest. It's such a miracle that John's era is complete and that none of his stories are missing at this point. The fact that, unlike Hartnell and Troughton, we've managed to recover all of John's episodes one way or another. Because I do think this was the only copy of Mind of Evil that exists, was that black and white copy. And I've seen I was watching some of the behind-the-scenes stuff for Mind of Evil, behind the sofas, the making of, a lot of that. And in the making of, it shows some of the raw footage when it was in black and white, because I believe when that making of was done was before they colorized it. And looking at that raw footage, you realize just how much restoration work has been done on this story. Not just recoloring it, but just the shape of the footage. I mean, it looks rough and grainy. Even the studio stuff looks grainy. So they've done a lot of restoration work to this story to make it look as good as it does. So I'm not going to complain. Like I said, the color is perfectly fine. I mean, it's not as good as some of the others, but it's fine. I'm happy with it. I'm content with it. You know, I was simply mentioning it in the review because it's a review. But yeah, I think it's really good. It's a really good story, really strong story. Definitely lived up to what I was expecting and hoping for it. I really, really like this one a lot. So have you seen The Mind of Evil? What did you think of it? Is it as good as you thought it would be? Do you think Roger Delgado is simply amazing in this? Him and John Pertwee have such good chemistry together. I really do think they're the best Dr. Master pairing for chemistry. They're so good together. I know some people would want to argue 12 and Missy. Those people are wrong, even though 12 and Missy are great. Three and Delgado are just the best Dr. Master team up ever. I absolutely love them. They have such good chemistry together. It's very easy to tell that they've actually been friends a long time up to this point, even. That they really were friends in real life. So, yeah, comment down below. Let me know. I always like interacting with you guys, getting your thoughts on this, what you agree with, what I think, what you disagree with, what you think. Let me know. And other things to do, click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications. I've started a Patreon page if you would like to contribute to that and help steer the direction of the channel with video requests. Most importantly, though, stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.